Another one of these? I'm not done yet? This show is how long? 51 episodes? And I haven't even highlighted all the characters? For truth's sake, why couldn't I have picked, I don't know, Angel Ka? Well, welcome to part 3 of my increasingly jumbled Fullmetal Alchemist review. You could ask for your money back, but you didn't pay any, you cheap jerks. Moving on to other characters, we have this fellow, state alchemist and professional psychopath, Soph J. Kimbley. He's kind of a nut. I mean, he makes me seem normal, and brother, I ain't normal. The Joker would tell this guy to dial down the loony.
Wrong.
Kimbley is known as the Crimson Alchemist because, I guess, blood is red and he kills folks? I mean, he turns people into live explosives, who then become not-so-live explosives. I guess explosions have some red in them, right? Maybe he just likes to go 3 times faster. Anyway, he's a maniac, that's for sure. And he's killing folks like no one else before. He manages to weasel himself back into the military after years of imprisonment for friendly fire, and becomes a thorn in pretty much everyone's side. He's more philosophical in the manga, here just a plain vicious murderer. But he's kind of fun to see at work, a guilty pleasure to be sure, and it's great when he gets his comeuppance. Kimbley is insane. You almost can't blame him for his actions. But there's one guy who teams up with him that is really unforgivable. Frank Archer. Created specially for this version of FMA, Frank Archer is an ambitious soldier whose career path seems to closely mirror Roy Mustang's. He's not an alchemist, but he also dreams of climbing the ranks, and he'll do anything to stake his claim, even reward lunatics like Kimbley and Shao Tucker. He's a wormy guy you just want to see punished for his bloodlust. And then he becomes a cyborg. Yeah, a full-on cyborg. Because that makes sense, right? Where the frick did that come from? FMA's world doesn't have that kind of technology. What kind of chumps do they take us for? But to be fair, it's strangely negligible. It's like even the writer knew that it was a lame idea, so Cyborg Archer isn't even used that often, and scenes with him in it are barely touched by his presence. He's just kind of this head-scratching element that you notice when you think twice about an episode he's in.
Now let us never speak of it again.
Now at this point, I want to get to a group of really interesting antagonists that pop up throughout the story and pose the biggest threat to the Elrics and their allies. The homunculi. The homunculi are artificial humans. No, not those. The homunculi are artificial humans, each with their own special ability, including the power each has to regenerate from injuries. There are 7 of them, named after the 7 deadly sins. Lust, gluttony, envy, greed, wrath, sloth, and pride. How are the homunculi made, you ask?
Either because of love or out of foolish curiosity, human transmutations are attempted. And when these attempts all backfire, a different life is created. A being that has its own body and mind, but no soul.
Easy as pie. A pie made to look like your deceased loved one. A murderous superpowered pie in the shape of your sin. Good eatin'. Lust, whose powers include, spear-like fingers and looking really good in a black dress, is secretly wistful, and while she can be ruthless, wonders what it is that she truly wants out of life, why she really wants to be human. She seems the most eager for the Philosopher's Stone to be made to fulfill that wish of hers.
The thought keeps rising like a bubble to the top of my mind. Where did I come from? Where will I go?
Why was I made? Who made me? And what did they make me for?
She's a really well-rounded antagonist. While she's certainly quite deadly and does some horrible things, she ends up pretty sympathetic in her goals. She also looks after gluttony.
Eat them now! I don't know. I think the armored one might give you indigestion.
I still want to try.
Gluttony is a simple-minded, bottomless appetite. He's like a big child whose only desires are to eat. People, mostly, and to stay around lust. Truth help you if you hurt lust, because he'll go full Lenny on you. Envy's a prick. He's a prick. He has his reasons, sure, but they mostly involve being bitter and, you guessed it, jealous, and wanting nothing more than to make others suffer. Unlike the other homunculi, he has no actual desire to be human. Why would he when he can transform into whomever he pleases? It helped him when he killed... No! Leave it, Michael. Leave it. But Envy's true form, his real monstrous self is... Dragon, ball, sing. Dragon, I can't seem to escape that song. Curse you, Gen Fukunaga! Disclaimer. Curse not valid in Arkansas, Connecticut, Maine, Nebraska, Ohio, or non-continuous United States. And now my favorite homunculus, nay, my favorite Fullmetal Alchemist character of all, the ultimate shield, Greed! Greed is a fantastic character. He's a homunculus who hangs out with outcasts and misfits in a seedy bar, wears fetish clothes without looking like a creep, and turns into a carbon-armored monster man. Greed wants to become immortal. Well, he's already practically immortal, but apparently that's not good enough. So he kidnaps Al to see how that whole soul-attached-to-object thing works. Homunculi are said to not have souls, though, so I can see that being an obstacle.
I want money. I want women, status, and power. I want everything this world's selling and eternity's topping the list.
There's a lot to like about this character, with his jovial but sarcastic attitude and attachment to his followers. Even in this first FMA series, where he doesn't stay around for very long, he leaves a huge impression on the story, and he certainly left an impression on me.
Damn, kid. That was good.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Well, mostly. Sometimes.
My only regret is that I have bonitis.
Oh, and there's also this kid, Water Mommy, and Pirate Hitler. Something about parenting and all that mess. I'll sort it out in the next part.